Here's an odd story. So the next night, I get to the building. I think I can say this. Mr. Inoki was a bit different in his way of thinking. And he had this, this is 1995. He had this laser gun. And, you know, like I come from a time when you just keep your mouth shut.
Right.
And I was like, my knees, you know, like I'm not saying anything, but my knees really bad. I'm really overstretched. And if you see the match with Chris Benoit from Japan in 1995, you'll see there's a bit, and it's not a pro wrestling bit. I go to put my foot on the second rope at one point and I scream. It's because I really damaged my knees. And he had this laser, it was a state-of-the-art thing, right, at the time, 1995. And this thing that shot this big laser beam out. And I'm lying in the training room and they're trying to get me to get my leg right, and he just wasn't. And I didn't wrestle that night. So if any of the people who do the history look at that, you'll see that I didn't wrestle that night. It was my last night. I think it was. I could have got sent home, but I think it was the last night. So I maybe only missed one day, but I could have this wrong. I could have been sent home a little bit early. I know I didn't wrestle again after that match with Chris. And he's gone. I can cure it. And he's picked my foot up, my leg, and he's got this laser and he's going on my foot. I couldn't feel anything. But he went, okay, you're good to go now. And I got up and nearly fell over. Nearly fell over when I stood up. It's like Billy Graham, right? With a
didn't hit like that.
Didn't work the way he thought it was. And I've heard a few stories like that, but that's, again, not my business to tell. But this was one that happened to me. So got this thing, this gun with this laser, this red light shooting out the end of it. And it was like in the bottom of my foot. And he went, right, you're okay now. And I stood up and nearly fell over. So I'm back in, I flew right from Japan with a really bad knee back to Orlando because we were taping WCW's Worldwide at either Disney or Universal. We used to swap. And for some unknown reason, not only have I got a dodgy knee and it's completely creamed, I thought, I'm going back in 2 weeks. Yeah. I'm going back in 2 weeks. It's going to be okay. Which it wasn't. So if you see that little clip of that match, I had a seriously bad knee. I still, to this day, do lots of Hindu squats. I couldn't do a quarter of a Hindu squat. My knee was that bad. I remember being in the arena that day of the match with Muta, trying to do step-ups on a step about 8 inches tall, and I couldn't do them. I was struggling.
Wow.
But that was the job. That was just what you did. God, what was going through my head, I do not know. And I can't remember if I did any of these Disney tapings. Again, this is a long time. This is 1995. Yeah. But I know we were staying at this hotel in Orlando. And I was thinking, do you know, I'll do a moonsault in this match. Yeah. I'll pile driver him and I'll do a moonsault on top of him. So with a bad knee, I'm stood on the edge of the pool at the hotel after we've done these or I did or didn't do these tapings. Again, I don't know because I had a really bad knee, but I think I did them because I think I just put a brace on it and taped him up because I did this match 2 weeks later with Muta, and because I'm stupid, I never would say I was injured, and I just kept working, which would have been a smart thing for me not to do a lot of times in my career. I'm stood on the edge of the pool when we finished these tapings, we'd get back about 6 o'clock at night. Right. And I'm stood at the edge of the pool, basically on one leg, going, and landed and fell in the pool.
Right.
And I thought, well, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
It's easy enough, isn't it? I'm doing it on one leg.
Right.
It's easy enough.
Should be able to do in the match.
Yeah.
Easily. Right.
Why
Easily.
not?
Yeah.
2 weeks later, I fly back to Japan, which obviously didn't do me knee a lot of good with all the, we know now, because you didn't know in those days. Well, I didn't know about icing your knee and looking after it and getting physiotherapy and having it looked at, and, because you just didn't say anything because you were an idiot, because you've been brought into the job, like, don't complain about anything. So I fly back to Japan, so it's obviously all creamed anyway, and I've got this knee brace on and it's all taped up. And if you see, there's a lot of matches that I did for the next. In fact, right until we talked about the other week, the Finley match, where he dragged me out the ring the first time.
Right. Right.
This is our things. See, now we're talking things I remember. He dragged me out, and I've got my knee brace on. After that first initial thing that me and Fit did, we did a show at Caesar's Palace, I believe, at some point, and then I did a match with Sting and me and Bobby Eaton against Sting and Luger, and I wrestled the dark match because there was nobody to wrestle the dark match with Chris Benoit, and I offered with a bad knee, and then went out and did a pay-per-view. But after that, it was shot. It was completely shot. My knee was shot. So I had the operation, and then I got myself back. In 3 weeks, I was back wrestling again, stupidly, without any therapy, to do the thing with Fit Finley.
Right.
And again, you'd have to look at the dates to see exactly when this was, but whatever it was idiotic. On my part, it was idiotic. I should have just said, look, I can't. After the first match, the first time in Japan, I should have got it looked at, and I didn't, because I was always taught these stupid things. Not stupid, just the way the job was. Don't complain and do your job. So I go back and do this match with Muta. I've never done me. I don't go on the top rope apart from a double arm suplex off the door, a butterfly suplex, as you call it, off the top rope. Well, there's one in that you can see that I'm struggling a bit. And I pile drive at him, and I climb on the top rope, and I get up there, and I think, oh, Jesus, what am I doing up here?
Right.
All of a sudden, it's hit me with the pant. Not only have I got a dodgy leg, I'm like, what am I doing? This isn't for doing it off a pool into the water is one thing. Me doing it off I get up there, and it's like, I might as well be stood on the top of the Empire State Building.
Right. Right.
I'm like completely out of my depth. Oh, and I just like jump backwards and sort of land on my head, as you can see in this clip that showed later, and
the Regal salt.
Just smash myself to death on the floor. And then he picks me up and like does a moonsault on me. But that was the mentality of a 20-odd-year-old young wrestlers. Know what you can and can't do.
Yeah, the one and only Regal salt with a bad leg. And of course, those moments of doubt on the top rope didn't help you either.
Right.